I never imagined I would meet someone on the internet who would turn into my best friend. But guess what?
I'm back!
We have met a couple of times, but that doesn't change the fact that she still lives in a different country. Very far away. Okay, that's too dramatic. Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video I'm going to be talking about long distance friendship. I'm aware that a lot of people are very cautious about this and think it's weird if you meet people online, so if you are one of those people, please click away right now because this video will not be it for you. But if you are interested in this, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and let's just get right into it. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because I feel like a lot of people, well, not a lot of people, but like a lot of people that are subscribed to me are interested in this and really curious about this, because I get questions about this constantly. So if you haven't been following me for long, or if you just haven't been paying attention, I live in the Netherlands and my best friend Ailey, she lives in Scotland. Before we get into anything, I do have to say that I know that Scotland and the Netherlands are not like complete opposite sides of the world, but it's still quite far away and we still can't see each other very often. So with that out of the way, let's just get right into it. There's this quote that has been going around on like Instagram and stuff for years. At least I've been seeing it for a couple of years now. The quote is, "They told you to never talk to people on the internet because they could be liars and ruin your life, but what they didn't tell you was that they could be some of the best people you'll ever meet." I think that this quote is something that a lot of people don't realize, because I have had a lot of people in the past judge me or think it's just weird to meet people on the internet. And yes, I get it that it's not like the most common way to make friends, and it's just not that usual, especially a couple of years ago. But I just don't understand why it's immediately not a good way to make friends. Like, why does it always have to be so judgmental, and why can't people like look at it differently? Like, I just don't understand how people that have never experienced anything like it are immediately like, that's weird, that is not gonna work, that is stupid, and just everything like that. I just don't understand that. So I really hope that if you are one of those people and you're still watching the video, I don't know why you would be, but if you are, I hope this video can change your mind. And yeah, basically what I'm gonna do in this video is talk about my friendship with my best friend, like our story basically, and like how we met, about our meetings in real life, and just everything like that, like basically just all about our friendship. And then at the end I'm gonna do a little Q&A because you guys had a lot of questions about this, so I really hope I can answer all of the questions and curiosities you had. And yeah, let's just get right into it. Me and Ailey, we are both Shawn Mendes fans, so you can already guess that that's how we met. We met on Twitter back in 2016, I believe. Basically, I saw a tweet of Ailey that she tweeted at Shawn Mendes, and she was like, "Hey, at Shawn Mendes, you should follow me." Something like that. And then I followed her, and I also tweeted at Shawn something with, "Hey, yeah, you should follow this girl." I didn't know Ailey, but I just wanted Shawn to follow her. So after I did that, Ailey followed me back and she DM'd me. She was like, "Hey, do you have Snapchat or Instagram?" So then we like started following each other on those social medias, but we didn't, like, we spoke to each other not very often, but just like sometimes. And then I don't really know what happened, but like halfway through 2017, we got super close. We would talk like so often, we would tell our friends and family about each other, and that was just when everything kind of started, I guess. We also FaceTime sometimes. I'm gonna read a few parts of this letter. It's pretty long, but it's really cute. This was written in 2017, and I'm gonna read a couple of things because it's really funny to look back at this, because there's like a couple of things in this that have either changed a lot or that have happened. Like in this letter, she's talking about wanting to meet me, and now we met a couple of times, so it's really weird to look back on this, but it's also so special. Okay, I'm gonna read a couple of things. "I appreciate you and our friendship every single day, and I constantly tell my parents and my friends about you and how I am going to Amsterdam next year to meet you and see Shawn with you." That's funny because we did see each other in Amsterdam and we did see Shawn. Oh my god, I honestly don't remember a lot of things. Oh my god, this is so cute. Oh my god, I might actually cry. Okay, this is so stupid. I was not gonna cry, but if you know me, you know that I'm a very emotional person, and I literally didn't remember half of this letter, but this is so freaking sweet. Oh my god, I did not expect this at all. Okay, we might be separated by distance, but that is never going to stop me from talking to you about things that seem pointless but are very important, like the fact that milk does belong in a cup of tea. I treasure you throughout my day, even though we cannot physically be in the same place. No matter the stupid distance, you will always be the person I trust, and I want you to know that you can always trust me and depend on me. It breaks my heart when I cannot be physically with you to give you a hug when you are sad, but please know I will always be by the phone, a text, a FaceTime call away. I know that I can tell you anything from my happiest times to my worst ones. I love you as much I love Beauty and the Beast and you love Stitch's life. I am just so thankful to know you and share our completely different yet similar lives with each other. You really have taught me so much about my life, even if you don't realize you have. That is so cute. You are such an important person in my life and I can't wait for the day we meet and hug. I love you so much. Lots of love from Ailey. P.S. You need to come to Edinburgh soon. So when I read that you need to come to Edinburgh, I decided that I wanted to come to Edinburgh. Also, I still don't think it's pronounced as Edinburgh. That still doesn't make any sense to me. I think it should be pronounced as Edinburgh, but we've had that discussion before. So about the flying to Scotland thing, I decided that I really wanted to meet her. I was just gonna fly to Scotland, and the original plan was actually to surprise her. Like, I was just gonna show up there. We had everything planned out, but then we decided to tell her, because especially because it was our first time meeting, if I told her, we could both be excited for it and like prepare ourselves, kind of. And also I booked the flights 3 months before, and there was just no way I could keep it a secret for 3 months. I don't know why I even thought that that was gonna be possible. So I messaged her dad and we like talked about everything, but it took quite a while to like book the flights and have everything ready, because I was 16 and I needed approval from my parents, and getting approval from my parents wasn't that hard, because my parents, they know that I have always like been this like independent person, I guess. Like ever since I was 14, I would literally just hop on a train to the other side of the Netherlands. Then obviously flying somewhere is different, but I guess they just trusted me with that, and they knew that I would just be able to do that. But the thing that scared me personally the most is that it was also just my second time ever flying, and I would be alone, which kind of scared me, but it all turned out okay. So then my parents were okay with it. I was ready to book the flights. Ailey, her dad, was ready, so I booked the flights. And then a couple of days later I messaged Ailey and I was like, we need to FaceTime. So we FaceTimed, and then I told her that I was coming. You have exams in January, right? Well, I think you should start studying before your Christmas break. Wait, can you read something for me? Wait. I'm going to Edinburgh in December and your dad knows about it, and
No, I'm kidding. Wait, when?
December 28th until December 31. To tell you at all, like I was going to show up at your house, but
Wait, my dad knew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're meeting in 3 months. The following months were honestly one of the most exciting things I've ever experienced. It was so cool because we were so excited to meet each other, and that was just, oh my god. Then on December 28, 2017, I flew by myself to Edinburgh, and there I was picked up by Ailey and her dad, and we met.
So you and I should be human beings and not just pieces in a past that we can't read. Don't you wanna go outside? So we go, baby, go, grow, baby, grow. Don't live it.
We spent like 4 days together, I think it was, and it just was so good. It didn't even feel like we had never met before, and that might also have been because Like before that we would FaceTime quite a lot, so I don't know, it just didn't feel like our first time meeting. It was just a lot of fun. Something that was kind of special about that trip and that meeting, this might sound super cliche, but basically we met at the airport, and the video that I just showed you, we tweeted out on Twitter for like our other friends to see, and we tagged Sean because Sean is the reason we met. And yeah, I think the tweet said something with after 2 years all because of you, and then at Sean Mendes. That was just what it was. And literally that day I would constantly say to Ailey, like, imagine if Sean would see the video of us meeting. Like, just imagine. And we kept saying like, oh, that would never happen, but just imagine if it would. Then the next morning we woke up to a lot of texts and calls and notifications. Sean freaking Mendes liked the tweet of me and Ailey meeting for the first time. Like, he saw the video. That was just so weird because technically he is the reason that we met. Like, if it wasn't for him, we probably never would have met. So that was, in my opinion, really special, but also kind of weird because we kept saying how that was not gonna happen, and then it happens. But yeah, that was pretty cool. Then the second time we met was like 4 months later in April 2018. I was gonna fly to London for the Queen's birthday party because Sean was performing there. I had everything planned and booked and I was ready to go, and then literally like a week before, Ailey decided that she was also coming. So we both went there to see Sean, and we only got to spend like 1 day together or 2, I think, but it was still just really good to see each other again. The thing with long distance friendship is that you literally just treasure every moment you have together, and it just, you're very thankful if you even get to spend time together, even if it's not long, because you don't get that very often, you know? So even that it was only 1 day, it was just really good to see her again. So a little bit after the London trip, Camila Cabello announced her new tour, and at first I didn't know why I decided not to get a ticket for the Amsterdam show, but now I remember because I was graduating in 2018, and my like call if I was gonna graduate or not was on the day of the Amsterdam show. So I think that's why I decided not to get a ticket for the Amsterdam show, but to get a ticket for the Glasgow show. So in June that year I went to Scotland again. I got to spend 4 days with Ailey again, and we went to Camila, her show in Glasgow, and it was just a lot of fun again. But what wasn't so fun is that after that trip we couldn't see each other for about 9 months, which was the longest we had to go without each other, like ever since we met for the first time, because I saw her December, April, June, and then the next time I would see her was March. This was kind of hard, but the fact that we were like reuniting for the start of Sean, his tour, was really exciting, but still 9 months is long. So, Shawn Mendes' tour came around. Ailey flew to Amsterdam in March last year, and that was for me really special because it was her first time coming to my house, meeting my family, and seeing where I live and everything like that. So me and my mom went to the airport, and my mom got to meet Ailey.
One way ticket and board onto a plane and fly it straight into a black hole somewhere out in outer space, girl. Baby, it's you.
We spent 4 days together. We were in Amsterdam every single day because Sean was there and a lot of our friends were there. So then after those days I brought her back to the airport. We said bye, which wasn't honestly that hard because I was gonna see her a month later again. So like I said, a month later we saw each other again, but this time in London. So the first London show was really special because I was with just Ailey, because for every other show I was either with someone else or with Ailey plus someone else, which was also a lot of fun, I'm not gonna lie, but it was just also really cool to be with just Ailey for a show. And then the second London show was Ailey, her last show, because he had 3 shows there, but she wasn't able to do the last one. So the second London show was so good because we literally just had so much fun because we just screamed our hearts out. We cried a lot. We were just kind of sad that it was like the end of the tour for Europe, so it was pretty emotional, but it was also just a lot of fun. And then the day after the show we spent the day in London together, and then at night we literally sat at Shake Shack in Covent Garden for probably like 4 hours. We just sat there laughing and crying all night, which sounds so stupid, but this was probably the hardest goodbye we've had so far, and I honestly don't know why. Probably because it felt like something was ending, because Sean's tour for Europe was ending, because we both did a pretty good amount of shows, which kind of made it feel like a part of your life was, that sounds so cringe, but it was ending. So probably that's why we were like sad. Tour was just over, we weren't gonna see each other so often anymore, so we said bye. We were both just a crying mess. But it was also quite funny and special because it was just really cute. In the summer of last year, we went interrailing together. Ailey flew to Amsterdam again. So we got to be in Amsterdam for 1 day because we both just really love Amsterdam. And then the next morning my family drove us to the airport and we flew to Rome. And from Rome we started our interrail there. We went to Rome, Sortaldo, Florence, Milan, Verona, Interlaken and Paris. The interrail was a lot of fun. I loved traveling with Ailey. We had so much fun together. We spent almost 2 weeks together, which we had never done before, and it was just really good. I really want to go traveling again. We're currently planning another trip, so let's pray that that works out. When we got back in Amsterdam, Ailey, her parents also flew here from Scotland to just spend a couple of days here, and then Ailey could fly back home with them. And then my mom and my brother, they also drove to Amsterdam to pick me up, and we went for dinner. It was just really cool that my mom could meet her parents. Also because I was going to Canada and I would spend time there with Ailey and her dad. And my mom obviously had never met her parents, so that was kind of just like a safety thing for her. But also just so that they could meet and they could like kind of know who I was hanging out with. That was just really special to me. So as I said, we went to Canada because once again it was Shawn Mendes. Shawn had his first stadium show in Toronto. We both went there with different people. Ailey went with her dad and I went with my friend Anna. But we met up there and we got to spend a couple of days together, and we also got to spend the show together, which was so special. The whole Toronto trip, I can't even explain how freaking special that was. Literally every 5 minutes someone would say, how are we here? How is this happening? It was very intense. Then something very unexpected happened. I won a trip to Sydney, Australia, also to see Shawn Mendes. Technically, this has nothing to do with Ailey, but when I actually went on the trip, like when I was in Australia, I kind of really had this like moment of realization where I just realized how strong our friendship was at that moment, because I like FaceTimed Ailey during the shows and it was just all really, I felt really connected to her because of like the time difference, and it was just all really like cute. That's so cringe, but it was just all really cute and special. Like I said, technically it has nothing to do with Ailey, but I just really thought that this was worth mentioning. We met one more time. I surprised her in Scotland in November last year. So I flew to Edinburgh, her dad picked me up from the airport and we just drove to her house and I just showed up. Oh my
Very sleepy.
She had absolutely no clue that I was coming, and we spent 3 days together, I think. We went to Rule's show and it was just like always good to spend some time together. And I'm not even exaggerating, but after the Toronto and the Scotland trip in November, we text each other probably every single day, multiple times, that we miss each other. I don't know, I feel like our friendship has gotten stronger over time and I like it. It's just annoying if you miss someone and you're not able to see each other whenever you want to, you know? But I also do think that there's something special and like different about long distance friendships, because it's more exciting when you see each other again, you know? So for this last part of the video, I was planning on doing like tips, but I couldn't really come up with any specific ones that are not like really obvious. So I decided to do a little Q&A instead to just answer the questions you all had. And yeah, let's go. The first question is, were you scared of your meeting in real life to be awkward? Actually no, but for me that was also probably because I was more nervous about the fact that I was flying alone for the first time. Really nervous for the traveling, but I wasn't even that nervous to meet her because we had FaceTimed a lot and it just felt really normal. So no, I actually wasn't really scared that it was awkward, and it also just wasn't awkward, so that was good. When you go meet her again, are you scared her personality has changed? Not at all, because we speak to each other a lot and we FaceTime a lot. If she would change, I probably already would have noticed it over the phone. I get your question and I get your point, but I am personally not scared of that because I feel like I know her and I feel like I don't really know how to answer this, but no, I'm not scared of that. Is the language barrier not hard at the beginning if you don't speak the same language? First of all, it obviously depends on what language you speak. Like, I speak Dutch and she speaks English, but for example, if she were to speak like Swedish or something, it probably would have been harder because we would both have the language barrier because we would both have to speak English. But now it's actually pretty nice because she speaks English as her native language and I speak Dutch as my native language. But over the years my English has improved a lot, and she really like understands it that English is not my first language, and she always compliments me on my English actually. And she just, whenever I don't know a word or if I just have a little bit of trouble with speaking English, she just helps me and she gets it, you know? So the language barrier for us is not that hard. I sometimes just randomly speak Dutch to her. That's also a lot of fun, but it's not that hard for us. But it probably would have been harder if English wasn't her native language, but I still think we would be able to make it work, but it would be harder. How do you convince your parents to travel to see your friends? My pro tip to convince your parents would probably be to, first of all, really show that you're ready for it and show that you have everything planned out and that everything's going to be fine, and just, I would say, really organize it. Like, when I wanted to go to Scotland, I made like a list of what it was going to cost, when it would be, how I was gonna do everything. Like, I had all the flights written out. I had like written out that her dad was gonna pick me up, and then I showed like the messages from her dad and everything like that. And I also, when I would FaceTime Ailey, I would like show my parents that she was a real person, and just the things like that, like really show everything. It also really depends on your parents, like how strict they are, but for my parents it was kind of easy, so I can't say that that's gonna be like that for everyone, but I would say just really talk about it with your parents and explain everything really well. How do you overcome the distance? I don't think you can ever overcome distance, but basically what we do when we miss each other, we either FaceTime or we just talk about like things that we've experienced. Like a couple of weeks ago we were texting about how much we were missing each other, and then we started talking about things that have happened like during the Interrail or Toronto, and that just makes you a bit closer at that moment, I feel like. So I would say to overcome the distance, talk about things that you've experienced or FaceTime or just like connect with each other, I guess. But like I said, I don't think anyone could ever really overcome distance. You can just make it easier for yourself. How often do you talk? We used to not talk every single day. I also think that that is something you should remember, that you don't have to speak every day to be friends or even best friends. You literally don't have to speak every day, and we used to not do that. Now we do speak every day, mostly on Snapchat, but also on iMessage. We speak a lot more, but it really depends on the time of the year also, and sometimes you speak more than other times. But right now I would say we do speak every day, but you really don't have to do that. Do you ever get bored of only texting? Only texting? Yes, I guess. I don't really understand this question, but if you mean like only texting as in text only, yes, because that's pretty boring. But we actually speak a lot on Snapchat, which is obviously with photos, and that's already a lot less boring. And then if you also FaceTime, I don't know if this is like a part of the texting, I don't really know if that fits your question, but texting, yes. But if it's also on Snapchat and like FaceTime, then no, because you can really like see the person, so I would not really get bored of that. And the next question is, how did you tell your parents about them? I just mentioned her name. Like when she sent me a Snapchat with something funny or something, I would just show it to my parents or something. Or when we were FaceTiming, I would be like, oh, I'm FaceTiming Ailey, and then they would be like, oh, hi, you know. And there's something funny because Ailey used to send a lot of Snapchats with like a microphone where she would like lip sync, and my dad used to think that was really funny, and that's literally like 2 years ago. So now every time Ailey sends like a Snapchat where she's lip syncing and I'm like with my dad, I would show it to him and he would like reply like, oh, where's the microphone? And I just think it's really funny that my parents now know who she is. How to make internet friends? I feel like this is a very broad question because there's a lot of different ways. My pro tip for this would be to be like open to meet new people, obviously, because if you're very close-minded and you're not open to meet new people, you are just not gonna meet new people. But I would say try to be very social and open to meet people and just start talking to people. Like, don't wait for people to come to you. I would say try and just, if someone likes your tweet or replies, just reply back. Or on Instagram, if someone likes your photo, like it back or send them a DM and be like, hey, how are you? Just just start talking and start getting out there, I guess. Those are all the questions I'm gonna answer for now. I hope this video was somehow interesting. I hope I could answer a lot of your questions and just things you wanted to know about a long distance friendship. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, subscribe to my channel down below. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload, and don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.